There you go. You see the messy living room. So what's up, guys? It's Dale from from Zephyr Games, and as you can see, my hair is crazy. So yeah, we've just got back from Euros. Long drive back, and as you can see by the bags under my eyes, and the shraggy beard, we are knackered. It's been a crazy long weekend. But before we go into like a review of how everyone's done, and just like how the weekend kind of went. A massive congratulations to Marcus Patel, and of course, a massive congratulations to Zahab Shah as well for getting into the finals. Sky Strikers won it. Sky Strikers took it. No one kind of. I personally didn't put my money on Sky Strikers winning it. I kind of thought that Salaman Greats or maybe an Orcus would have took it. But again, congratulations to Marcus on that one. Kind of piloted Sky Strikers even without Mystic Mine as well. So that's a good achievement as well. But again, Zahab took the Salaman Greats, took them all the way, did very well. So he just got into the top 64 with X3, and then of course he took it all the way to the final, beating some very tough opponents. I mean, he did the Salaman Great Mirror in the top 4. He even took out the surprise entry, which was Mech Knight Invoked, in the top 16. So he did very well with that as well. So out of, I think it was 696 or 701 was the overall total. They of course got first for Marcus Patel, and of course second for Zahab. So well done to him. Now a quick rundown of the team and how it kind of went. It didn't go as well as we would have liked. So there was definitely some memorable matchups and definitely some memorable games. So we'll start off with Donald. Donald played his Faithful Madolches as well. And his highlight of the weekend was probably facing Thomas Rose. So we had a very good game against Rose, and he won that one as well. A very good kind of match. It was just the consistency of Madolches. If you can't stop them, their combo is absolutely insane. Carl as well did amazingly well. He was playing Subterrors, which again is another surprise package. Not the strongest deck right now, and it is a lot of back row, quite like Altergeist. But the ability that they have, yeah, all right, Donald, we get it. Put it away. So Carl did very well with his Subterrors. The Guru Phoenix combo is insanely good, very consistent. Well, I say consistent. There was a couple of times where he unfortunately did brick. But that's just the nature of the beast. Next up, of course, we had Joe. Joe was playing Pure Orcus. Very good with those. He got his invite for Euros. Congratulations to him. And on top, if you saw on Facebook, he did actually win the winner mat. So he won the winner mat again with his Orcus deck, and that was the Harpy mat. And he is very kindly giving that to Danny. Hey, Matt. He's going to give it to Danny for his wedding present. So Danny, you'll probably know from like some very old videos we had on the channel. Did like he's a massive Harpy lady fan. And he got married a couple of weeks ago. So congratulations to him and his lovely wife. So, Joe won the winner mat, and of course the Harpy mat was up for grabs, so he grabbed that, and that's going to be his wedding present to Danny. Next up, we had Rob. Rob was playing Dino Walkist, and it just did not go the way he wanted it to go. He ended up getting like 4 draws. It was crazy. And I think that's probably more of a choice of playing a deck that he probably wasn't as comfortable with or didn't know as well. He still did well. He stuck in there to the end, but it just didn't go the way that he wanted it to go. And then of course we had Chris. Now Chris took Cyber Angels. Now full respect for taking Cyber Angels. They're an incredibly fun deck. But in this meta, he had to fall back on the turn 1 Vanity's Fiend and turn 2 Vrash for the OTK. So the turn 2 Vrash is a lot better than Vanity's Fiend, but it just didn't work out for him as well, and he didn't do as well as he would have liked to. But then Jordan wanted to go. He changed his mind at the last minute. He was going to play Danger Dark Worlds, and he decided to go with Grand Manju without Mystic Mine or anything like that. And again, didn't go as well as he would have planned. A lot of I just think the consistency of an actual Orcus deck and the consistency of Salamangreats just just beats most of the road decks out there. Some of the road decks that you can't naturally side for just don't do it as well. And then of course me. Oh dear, oh dear, dear. So I went with my Thunder Dragons because they were my most powerful deck. They still are probably my most powerful deck that I know well enough. And no, we haven't actually tried like full Fire King dinos. I just don't. I personally don't know the Fire Kings enough. I know Donald knows Fire Kings, um, but there's no one in our team at this moment in time that know Fire Kings well enough and dinos well enough. But it's definitely something to look into because I know that the synergy is there. Being able to destroy the Fire Kings, loot them around, and go from there. So that's definitely something that we need to look into in the future. So anyway, I took Thunder Dragons, and it just did not go well. I kind of knew. So game one, I was up against Phantasmal Spirals, which is actually a very, very bad matchup for the Thunder Dragons because they play a lot of back row, and naturally the Thunder Dragons don't have back row outs. Um, but I was able to like grind the game out and pulled the win out of that. Then I knew when I played my game two, which was a mirror match, that's when my luck turned. Like I just knew, like I won the dice roll. I was like, yes, excellent, cool, let's do the full combo. And I bricked. I bricked so hard. Passed to my opponent. My opponent opened up the full Battery Man solo combo, and I was just like, right, Scoot, there's no point in this. Go. I go first. He opens up Lancia, completely shuts me down. I've got Lancia, pass to him, shut him down with Lancia, but he's still got enough to make Colossus. And then just from then, he had Lancia again. I just could not break his board, and it was, it was sad stories from there. Then on throughout the rest of the day, bricks just did not help myself at all. And I went back in it today, kind of like, right, let's see. I'm going to try and play the last 3 rounds. And then this kind of summarizes my luck. Um, yes and no. If I'm going first, it depends what I'm facing up against. If I'm going first, I want the Seconds Light in there so that I can draw the cards. Like Seconds Light is so powerful. Um, if I'm playing against Mystic Mine, which luckily I didn't, then yes, I'll probably put in stuff like Twin Twisters. So my side deck were 3 Twin Twisters, 2 Spell Cancellors for Sky Strikers, which I never faced. The only time I actually played Spell Canceller was against Shino Birds. And he was able to kaiju it away, so that kind of 3 evenly matched, which did massively, massively well for me when I was in control. 2 Denko, 3 Lancia, and 2 Phantasmal Spirals. At the last minute, I bumped my deck up to a 42 card deck. Yeah, I did, Matt. I'll go through that one in a minute. That did not end well. So yeah, so I bumped my deck up to a 42 card deck and put 2 Effect Veilers in. I don't think I ever saw the Effect Veilers as much. I just really, really wanted the Effect Veilers in the deck as some form of disruption because I don't like sitting there knowing I've got no kind of interruption in my hand if I lose a dice roll. So I had to kind of play around with that one. So with the Shino Bird matchup, and then I'll get onto the game that I had this morning that was just like, yeah, this deck does not want to work for you. So the Shino Bird matchup, game one, I bricked, and he ended up placing the male Shino Bird, and then the. I don't think I bricked actually that bad. I think I ended up with a Colossus and 2 other cards. He just Kaiju'd my Colossus, then made the male Shino Bird that spun 2 monsters back, and then dropped an Amon Water on me. And I was like, I've got no outs, there's no point in this. Game 2, I opened up the full combo, locked him out, and off we went. Game 3, he slowed down my combo. I then I don't know if it was foolish or not, but I held off my normal summon, so I couldn't get into Saruja, so I held off my normal summon so that I could drop the spell canceller on him. Drop that, and he opened up the Kaiju my spell canceller, and then there's a bit of a grind back and forth, and then he just beat me because I lost all my advantage. So the game that kind of turned it again for me this morning, that kind of said this deck does not want to work for you this weekend, is I was facing a Salamangreat player. We was in game 3, and he opened up Lance. He opened up Lancia, stopped my turn. My whole hand was all banished. It was 2 normal Thunder Dragons, 2 Thunder Dragon Dark, 1 White Eclipse Wyvern, 1 Black Eclipse Wyvern. Because I went no, I went first. I drew into the Black Eclipse Wyvern. So he bricked. No, yeah, I went first. He bricked, but he Lanced me turn 1. He bricked, he ended up with a Sunlight Wolf and poked me for 18. And then passed back to me. Again, my whole hand was all banished. He Lanciered me in the standby phase. I was like, right, okay, cool. Pass back over to him. He then hit me for 18 direct again. I then made a board. I got slightly interrupted and had to go into a triple burst dragon. So I went into a triple burst dragon. He dropped a Phantasme on me, and then drew off of the Phantasme the third Lancia, so you only drew one card, and then drew into the Lancia, and then dropped the Lancia on me, and I was just like, okay. So yeah, that just kind of kicked me right in the nuts. But then the best thing I did all day is I went into a winner mat. I didn't win it, but I went into winner mat and I played Exodia Mine. Now that was I know it's a bit degenerate playing mine, but I actually faced against Jordan, and Jordan played his Gremanju deck, and my God, the luck on that boy. He main deck Prohibition. He main deck Prohibition. So as soon as he knew I was playing Mystic Mine, he dropped Prohibition on me turn one and called my Mystic Mine. I was like, oh, that gonna hurt. And I lost that one. So then we went into game two, and I got Exodia. And then we went to game three, and he opened up Prohibition again, the little git. So we opened up Prohibition, and my tech that I'd put in was Swift Scarecrow. So I had to Swift Scarecrow stall him, and luckily I had impermanence. So I got an impermanence, set it in the same column as the Prohibition. And then during my turn, once I drew into a Mystic Mine, I played the Prohibition, played the so he had two Great Manjus on board and an Eater of Millions. So I was like, oh, so I was able to stall out for 2 turns, and I drew into a third Swift Scarecrow. So I had the ability to stall out for 3 turns. But what I did was, as soon as I drew into the Mystic Mine, is I activated Impermanence in the same column as the first Prohibition. His second Prohibition, so he went second Prohibition, play. I think this is how it went. Sorry, it went second Prohibition, call Trap Trick. I chained Trap Trick, set in a Metaverse. I then had to play the Impermanence in the same column as the first Prohibition to negate any of his monsters on board. Then turned off the Prohibition, played the Metaverse, which then allowed me to. Oh no, sorry, this is in a different turn because I was only locked under one. Basically, it resolved that I had to play an impermanence in the column, turned off the Prohibition to play the Metaverse, to then play a Mystic Mine, or some way I've got to a Mystic Mine. And then I just got to Exodia and one. But the worst thing about the Exodia Mine deck is, at this moment in time, I haven't found a way of finding a second win con. Now, I don't want to play Burn, I don't want to play Mill. So getting into the second win con, the Exodia is fun. Like, literally being able to go, yay, Exodia in 2019 is a great tech. And the tech of Draw of Fate or Draw of Destiny. I can't remember the one it is off the top of my head. The one that lets you stack 3 cards, draw one. That actually came up so many times. It was so good. So you, if you've already got 3 pieces in your hand, you put 2 pieces on a card D, and it just worked out really nicely. So it was great fun. Really enjoyed it, and it was probably like the highlight of the tournament weekend. What other kind of memorable things were there? So obviously we went to Orton Towers as a team. That was great, even though it absolutely caned it down with rain. So that was a lot of fun. If you guys have any questions, by the way, just chop them down in the comments below. I'm more than happy to answer them as we go. Absolutely anything. Try and keep it Yu-Gi-Oh related, if we can. So, yeah, next step is, of course, Euros. So the only thing that changes between now and Euros is we get the special editions of Dark Neostorm. Now, in the special editions of Dark Neostorm, we of course get I never remember the name of it. I just call it the Spellcaster Dragon's Mirror. So it's the card that lets you banish 5 magicians from your graveyard to summon the fusion. So it allows you to get into Quintet, and it's half tempted me to go, damn, I want to play my Dark Magician now. I'd have to play my Dark Magicians a little bit differently, in the sense that I would, because I need to have 5 cards with different names. So you'd need to play Chocolate Magician Girl, you'd have to have a Magician's Rod Engrave, a Magician's Apprentice, a Dark Magician, and another card. So whether you play Robe or Spellbook, Blue Boy, or if you wanted to play Mahard, or even the Cosmic Queen as well. I've got my fingers crossed that with the gold, the tins we get at the end of the year, that are the gold sock, we get I'm hoping, because apparently we get the alternate arts, or we get the anniversary arts. So I'm hoping we get the Magician of Chaos in that one. That is a level 8, and you tribute. I think it's when it's ritual summoned, you tribute a spellcaster monster, and your opponent cannot activate monster effects for this turn. Now, it depends on what the wording of that card is when it comes out. If it's like this can only be ritual summoned. If it can only be ritual summoned, then I highly advise you guys picking up advanced ritual arts if you want to play them in Dark Magician. Because then you play the advanced ritual art during your opponent's turn, and then off you go. You go straight into that, and then you can tribute itself off, and you kind of like as a your opponent. The best thing about that is if you wanted to, you could play Call of the Haunted, bring him back, and then tribute him off again. So it depends on what his wording is, but that's a cool card that I'm telling you guys to watch out for, be prepared for, because it's very, very good and fun. Well, very, very good and fun. It means Dark Magician can be highly competitive as a ritual deck as well. So that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, moving on to Euros. I haven't decided what I'm playing yet. Neither has Carl. I think every one of us, apart from Donald, Donald's the only one that's like Madolce. I kind of want to play Exodia Mine, but the win con is so fragile. Like if you lose it, Donald knows what we're talking about. If you lose any piece of the Exodia, that's it. It's game. Like I currently don't have a build that can get it back. Now, of course, there are ways of doing it. Like you got Dark Factory, you got Slash Draw that some people can use as well. And then you got like Pot of not Extravagance, Pot of Equivocativeness, the one that's target 3 banished cards, put them back into the deck, draw 1. So you got stuff like that. So that's something I'll be looking into to kind of recur the graveyard, but I don't want to clog the deck down with cards to recur the graveyard if it's never going to happen. And I mean, if you've got Mystic Mind, you can kind of lock it down. Joe today, I actually faced Joe in the winner mat, and he knows it because we tested this a lot. Is if he drops the Neo-Spacian Aquadolphin on me, and he rips a piece from my hand, I scoop because like it's game. Luckily, both times he had the Aquadolphin, I was able to affect Veiler and impermanence him. So I was like, "Don't touch my hand." And the first time he did it, I didn't have any pieces, and I had a card D, and he didn't have the Neo-Spacian on board. He only had the Aquadolphin, so he burnt for a little bit. That was quite funny. So yeah, I mean, looking at Euros, I don't want to play like a meta deck, like an because I haven't got time. I probably could between now and then try and learn the deck inside out, but it's just not me. I don't like the idea or the possibility of playing. I don't know however many rounds of Swiss there'll be, but maybe 11. If you make it to day 2, even 7 on day 1 of mirror matches, it's just not something that appeals to me. I'd rather pay. Like my ideal deck is a rogue deck that so something like one that I took to Euros at Manchester like 2 years ago was Usenju's with Necro Valley because it was masterpiece format, it was zoo format, and it was Paleozoic format. So I was like, oh cool, I'm gonna play this deck. And the Necro Valley was like insane, so good. Obviously that was before the new errata as well, so that's changed things up a little bit as well. So like my options are stuff like Evil Eyes, Trains. I could possibly play Dark Magician. I'd have to look into see if there's a consistent way. Of course, as soon as that card comes out, I will look into a consistent way of, making a Dark Magician deck that can abuse the quintet and abuse the banish of 5. But it's quite like Eye of Timaeus. You need to have such a setup that unless you're milling your deck to put your magicians in grave, I personally think that card will work better in a Dark Magician Gale build because you got chocolate, you can play lemon, you can play apple, you can play kiwi. Then you'll play Dark Magician, you'll play Rod, you'll play Apprentice. So you just have so many more spellcasters to play around with. That is probably a better option. I could also play my Pendulum Endymions. They're always quite fun. I'm trying to think what else there is. I like randomly. Yeah, there was a couple of True Draco there. They did really, really well. It's still such a powerful deck. Like it can play so many floodgates still. It's got so much consistency. I mean, Carl mentioned today something about True Draco Extra deck, and I was like, how does like what's the True Draco Extra deck? And it was just you don't play you play Super Poly, and Super Poly in this format right now is insanely powerful. Like Super Poly, as long as you can maintain your hand advantage, which I don't know what my personal play of True Dracos is Demise. Like that's my personal play. I play Demise, Duality, Stormforth, Monarchs Erupt, stuff like that. Carl would be looking into doing like a Super Poly one, which, like I said, Super Poly is so good. Breaks the Thunder Dragon board, they can't respond to it. Breaks the Salamangreat board, they can't respond to it. Sorry, guys. So yeah, I think something like that is actually insanely good. What was it? Yeah, so on the drive back, I was actually thinking about despots. I was like, are despots still viable? Like, I love those little guys. So I might actually have a look into a way of seeing if I can make despot work. But um, I think between now and Euros, there's a lot that I'm probably going to take. Not this week off. Like, I'll still do videos for the channel on that, but I'm probably going to take this week off to like not do test hands, not try and build a deck or anything like that, just to breathe and think and kind of digest everything. I mean, looking back, I'm trying to remember what the top cuts were. I think in like the top 64 for Nats, there was one Cyber Dragon, one Subterra. Um, there was a good chunk of Orcus, good chunk of Thunder Dragons, and a good chunk of Salamangrates. I think Salamangrates and Orcus were the highest represented. Then Thunder Dragons was the third highest, and then there was a couple of Sky Strikers in there with a couple of Pendulums as well. And then when it got down to the top 8, it was two Salamangrates, Sky Strikers, Mech Knight Invoked, two Orcus, I believe. I can't remember the exact ones off the top of my head, but obviously the final four was one Sky Striker, one Orcus, and two Salamangreats. So you can kind of see it. And I mean, when I was looking on the top tables, there was a crap ton of Salamangreats. It's a very, very powerful deck, and like I said, the consistency is mad. It's like I think the best thing about them is it was the ability to make Abyss Dweller at the weekend as well. Because the Abyss Dweller, if you can make that first, really does really well against the mirror. It can slow Sky Strikers down a little bit as well. It kills the Thunder Dragon matchup. Like they just can't play through. Like they can make a board that can kill the Abyss Dweller, but then they've also got to go through a Raw or a Rage, and then they've got to get through the Abyss Dweller. So they do have to do a lot of work in order to get past that kind of area. There was still obviously a lot of Orcus as well, so they were nicely represented. What else is there? There was a good range of matchups, a very very good range of matchups. On the lower tables, on the higher tables, it just was a lot of Salamangreat mirrors and stuff like that. We was also considering, I think on the drive back, we was also considering Prank Kids as well. So I still love Prank Kids. I think they're an incredibly fun deck. Again, they're just very, very linear. Like, unless the OCG or even a TCG, excuse me, I don't mind how we get it, but unless we get either a Link 1 Prank Kid or another new Prank Kid, we just need more consistency in getting a Poly and two Prank Kids on board without being interrupted. I still think like so. There's the little dog, the little yellow dog, in all the artworks that we haven't actually got its own card for. I would love to have that as like a Link 1. It doesn't have to do anything. It can just be a vanilla, but as long as it's treated like Prank Kid's dog or Prank Kid's. I know they've got a Prank Kid's Bow Wow bark. So if there's a Prank Kid's Bow Wow or a Prank Kid's bark, something like that, that would be great. And it can just be a vanilla. It doesn't need to do anything because then all you do is you normal summon a Prank Kid, link it off, get the Prank Kid's effect, and then you've got your two instant ones from your one card. Now, I don't know if that breaks the deck. I don't know if it makes it insanely powerful, but it certainly adds a consistency to it. It allows you to go from a one Prank Kid to go into your Cockadoodle-Doo and then extend from there. And then if you're having to do Cockadoodle-Doos, you don't open up a Poly and you go into the you have to search out the Prank Kids Fusion. At least you're locking yourself into Prank Kids. Like, I think that's only fair. Like, I think that kind of works. So that kind of balances the deck out a little bit. The other two guys that the other guys that we went up there with, we had Niall, who played DDDs. He just did it for fun. He enjoyed it, and you know that's what's great about that. Shane went with mine, and he should have gone with his favourite Paleo or even Fluffles. He really should have, but he still had a good time going up there. And then Kurt, man, massive shout out to you. My God, do you keep everyone smiling? So Kurt came up with Niall and Shane, and on the way up, they were literally like 2 minutes away from the venue, and they hit like a speed bump. They hit a pothole, popped the tire, and I like to think Kurt kept them going on that one because I would have been like, damn man, what the hell is going on. Anyway, so Kurt came in, and you can tell he's just a guy that's just loved. He just loved being there, loved the atmosphere, loved the fun. He did not care if he won or lost. He was actually more happier if he lost. So the way he kind of did it, and I did this in the last vlog, is he literally, if he lost, he got into the mentality. He was like, I've just been paid. If I lose, I'm gonna go buy some product. So he went to Chaos Cards. He bought product. He lost again. Went to Chaos Card. Bought product. But the the worst thing about it, or the best thing about it, is his pulls were insane, like beyond real. Like, so his entry pack, he got a Dingreasy. He lost around, bought a box of Dark Neostorm and pulled a Dingreasy. He then went and bought a tin. In that tin, he pulled a Purple Nightfall, a Metaphors Electromite, and another secret, and it was insane. He then went and bought a box of Flood, and we was like, what are you doing? Like, how are you supposed to make any money from a box of Flood at 75 quid? His pulls were Unicorn, Nightmare Corrupted Ibly, and Free Phoenix. Like, that doesn't even touch on the Ultras or any of the other supers. It was just like, now I know that doesn't clear his bill completely of a box, but damn, that's just some insane pulls. And he just got other stuff as well. It was just mental. But yeah, so he actually the funniest thing I remember from the weekend is he actually won a round and then lost the next round, and they went back to Chaos Cards, and they went, oh hello, we ain't seen you for a while, and he's like, yeah, I won the last one. But just his mentality for the entire weekend epitomized what Yu-Gi-Oh should be about, and that is just have fun. And that was one individual. I mean, there was probably plenty of individuals around the venue that were doing it for fun. I know that even right to the end, people that were sitting on the table 200s and stuff like that, they were playing it for fun, and that was amazing. And Kurt, I'm so glad you were there this weekend, because I think you actually helped lift a couple of players up that had like a bad weekend, anything like that. And I think you definitely put a smile on everyone's face, especially if you look like Solomon. Now, I know this is live, but in a post edit, what I'd love to do is I'd love to get a picture of Kurt and a picture of Solomon from Peaky Blinders, because they look identical. So yeah, that was great. I don't actually know what Kurt was playing. I think he just went in there. He just, oh, so much fun. Anyway, and then the other two massive shout outs go to Dennis, Tom, and Ed. So these are three other guys from our locals as well. He was playing spirals. Yeah, he was playing actual spirals. Yeah, thanks, Donald. He was playing actual spirals. Yes. Anyway, so the other three shout outs go to Ed, Tom, and Dennis. So Ed was playing spirals. He's only just got back into. Not sorry. He was playing Southern Greats. He'd only just got back into the game. So Nationals is always a massive, massive experience for any kind of new player. Obviously not your first tournament, though. Like go do it. It's still an amazing experience regardless. But he's built himself up into locals, and that's just around the time he'd come back, went and done it, and I think he had a great time. He was another one that he always had a smile on his face, whether he'd won, lost, or anything. He's enjoying it. And then of course you've got Tom, or Thomas. He went and played Altgeist, and he did very well. I think this was his first Nats, and he got 120th. So he did very, very well. And then Dennis, again, another player that's just come back into the game. We told him off. We gave it. Oh well, his missus told him off a lot more than we did, because he went and spent so much money on getting like a full danger core and stuff like that. But it obviously worked for him, because he was playing 60 card Dark Warrior, and he got 96th. So again, both of them earned themselves the Prank Kids mats. Did very, very well at their first national. So well done to the pair of those. Again, they just both seem to have a really, really good time and enjoyed it completely. So yeah, that's kind of my lazy rundown. Lazy rundown, I say. I think it's nearly 20 to 10. It's 20 to 10 now, UK time. And I've probably yabbered on long enough. So unless you guys have any more questions for me, I am going to call it a night. I'm going to go get some decent shot eye in my own bed. Yeah, and then we're going to come back. Let us know what you think of these vlogs over the Nats weekend. If you enjoyed them, let me know, and I'll do them at Euros weekend as well. I mean, we've got so much more at Euros. We're going a day early as well. We're going to sleep, hopefully sleep good. Go to Euros, get that beautiful mat. If you haven't seen the Euros mat, check it out. It's like, it's the World Chalice mat, but it's like, so the Orcus mat. So it's the final forms of each of Avram. Yeah, I could do a vlog at Euros. I think my disappointment is I didn't do a vlog at Alton Towers, but it was just so wet and rainy. We got some great pictures from there though, like Rob's. Rob's face like that was great. So yeah, the match that you get for Euros is Longrisu, Avramax, the Guard Dragon Fusion, and Ib, the World Challenge Justicator, all on this mat. It looks amazing. You get that just for turning up. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the top cut mat is the Sky Striker mat. It's got Ray in the middle, and then it's got Kanai, Hayate, Suzuki, and I can't remember the last one. No, my brain's gone. Wow. Someone help me out. Thank you, Donald Kagari. What would I do without you? My brain is actual mush. I said Kanai, and I was like, I know it begins with K. Like, what's the last one? So yeah, so it's got all of those around her and Ray in the middle. So that's for the top cut. Again, I'm not a massive Sky Striker fan. Sorry, guys. So, I'm actually really, really happy for the Orcus one. I think that looks amazing. So yeah. Euros is in 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks. What are we now? We're the 9th. So we've got on the 13th is when the special editions. So this week is when the special editions come out for Dark Neo Storm. With the 9th, 24th. So 3 weeks. 3 weeks today will be day 2 of Euros. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to go have a great time. We're going to relax. We're going to go enjoy the venue. Obviously, they've got side events, and then they have the carnival as well. By carnival, what it is it's like a couple of mini games. And Joe will always remember. We'll go get our token as well. We always go get custom tokens done. But Joe will remember the giant doll because I think we were like one of the only people that have not OTK'd, but basically we set up a board. We went first, set up a board, dropped like 4 monsters, went straight into a bomber dragon, passed our turn, and they made a decode. Summoned to the decode. We nuked the board. They attacked our decode. They attacked our Boral because they thought they gave him more power, and we killed it. And then we OTK'd them next turn. So that was in the giant card game. It's amazing. All because of Joe's crazy brain. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Even if you're local to the place, go down there. Even though you can't enter the main event, there's still loads of side events. There's winner mats. Sometimes they like doing old structured X events. So last year they did the Lair of Darkness event. And you know where you get the mats? Just for yeah, you can win the mat at the structured events at your locals. They have like a limited amount. You go and enter, it's 10 quid or like 10 euros, and you get the rubber mat and a starter deck, all for 10 quid. It's insane. It's like, cool, the mat itself is worth like 30, 40 quid. So hopefully they'll do the Endymion one. I'd love to pick up an Endymion deck in like German or Spanish or just another language, just because I've already got playset stuff. It would just be cool to see them in a different language. They'll have Attack of the Giant card as well. They'll have winner mats. They'll have a lot more. So that is it. Again, while we finish up this video, massive congratulations to Zahab Shah and, of course, Marcus Patel. Tier 0 for Zahab and, of course, Brotherhood for Marcus Patel. Well done on getting to the finals of UK Nationals from 701 or 696, whichever one it was. Players at UK Nats 2019. 2 players to keep your eyes out on in the future. Hopefully the momentum will take them through to Euros, and we can see them kind of battling their way up the ladder for that as well. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, guys, with my croaky voice,